All right, so now that our home.dart file is ready to go, let's start getting our hands dirty. So the first thing we're going to do is set the body parameter, and we'll return a container widget, and this is inside of our scaffold. Now this container is going to be decorated with a linear gradient, and it's going to act as the background for the entire app. So the first parameter I'm going to set is a decoration parameter, and we'll return a box decoration widget. Now in this box decoration, it allows us to do a linear gradient by setting this gradient property. So we'll do linear gradient, and similar to our splash screen that we recently did, we're going to set the begin, the end, stops, and the colors. So the first parameter is begin, and we'll do alignment dot top center. Next we'll do end alignment dot bottom center. Next it's the stops parameter, and like before 0.004 and 1. And the next one is colors. Now in here we're passing a list, and we'll pass in the same colors as our splash screen. So 0xFF A8E063. And the next color is 0xFF56AB2F. All right, beautiful. Now we have our linear gradient. Let's run the app just to make sure we have no problems. And yeah, so while it loads, let's just keep coding. We'll get our hands dirty. Why not? So we'll set the child parameter for this container, and we'll return another container. And in here, we'll set a padding of edge insets dot symmetric horizontal 24. Okay. Now after here, we'll set the child parameter, and this is going to be a column, and inside this column we'll have our text and our buttons and just everything. And just another clarification, if you guys see this warning, it's not a big problem. It's TFlite, and there's no problem. It's just the version has been deprecated over time, and don't worry about it. It's just going to happen one time, and then you won't see it again. But besides that, we're going to set the cross-axis alignment in this column to cross-axis alignment dot center. Now we're getting this. Did we? I think we set it in the wrong. Do something like that, and return that, and beautiful. All right, ready to go. All right, so now in here, we'll set the children parameter, and let's start building out the children. So the first child will be a size box to have a nice spacing at the top. And personally, I like the spacings at the top just because it makes the app look cleaner. After that, we'll have a text, and this text will be detect flowers. Okay. And we're going to set the style to text. Oh, sorry. Was not looking. Detect flowers, and we'll set the style to text style. Colors.white, and font weight to font weight.w800. And finally, we'll do the font size, and we'll set that to 28. And that should be, so we're getting another error, and I'm guessing the error is because we didn't put one of those. All right, beautiful. Now, the next text we want to set is what neural network this is going to use. And I'm just going to copy and paste this text widget, since I'll just be tweaking a couple parameters, and I'll set this to custom tensorflow CNN. And CNN stands for convolutional neural network. And if you don't know what a convolutional neural network is, pretty much it allows you to, it's essentially it's an algorithm that can detect patterns inside of images. So for a convolutional neural network to work, you pass in a large data set, and the convolutional neural network iterates over that data set and gains an understanding and tweaks its weights in the neural network to understand the patterns in that data set. And then once it understands the patterns, then you can use that neural network to predict images of similar patterns, and it can make some classification based off those patterns. So there's quite a bit of theory for convolutional neural networks, but if you understand that it's a sequence of functions and you're tweaking your parameters and weights in the neural network, in the convolutional neural network, then you should be fine. It's just it's the algorithm used to make predictions or understand patterns in images. Okay. We'll set the color to colors.black, and the font weight, we'll change that to bold, and finally we'll set the font size to 18. Okay. Now we're going to add another size box after this text, and this one's going to be of height 40. Now after that, we're going to add a nice white box with a nice box shadow, border radius, and just, yeah, you'll see. I really like this box, especially for apps like these. It really makes it pop out. So the first parameter I'm going to set is edge insets.all, and I'll set that to 30. Next, I'll have a decoration parameter, and similar to the last one, I'll do box decoration, except this one will be colors.white, and the border radius will be border radius.circular 30. Next, box shadow, and the box shadow will be a list of box shadow, and in here we'll pass in a color of colors.black.width opacity, and we'll pass in 0.5. Next, we're going to set the spread radius to 5, and the blur radius to 7. Okay. Now, I really like this box. I really like the box shadow, and I use it a lot in my apps just because it makes the app have this illusion of foreground and background. And most artists would agree that it's really important to have that sort of middle foreground and background inside of a painting. So I try to use that same methodology inside of my apps, and personally I think it just makes it look a lot cleaner. So after this box decoration, we're going to set a child with a column widget, and in this column widget we'll have children, and the first child will be a container with a child of center. And this child, now here we're going to show our assets image, and if we have yet to make the prediction, then we want to show the asset image. Else, if we've made our prediction, then show our prediction. All right, so similar to the last app, we have our loading variable, and if loading is true, then we want to return a container. And in this container, here, before I do that, I'm going to do the else statement just so I know where it is. And now in this true statement, true block, we're going to set the width to 300. And following that, we're going to have a child of column. And in this column, we'll have children. And the first child will be an image asset of assets flower.png. Okay? Next, we're going to have a size box that follows this widget, and its height will be 60. All right, beautiful. So that's what we want. Now in the else block, we want to show the image. So in order to do that, we'll create a new child in this container, and we'll set it to column, and in this column we'll have another children parameter, and the first child will be a container, and we'll set the container of the height of this container to be 300. Now we're going to have its child to be a clip_rect widget. Now a clip_rect allows us to put a border radius on an image, so that's the reason why we use that widget here. So we're going to do border radius dot circular 10, and its child will be image.file, and we'll pass in our global variable image. So similar to the last app, except different UI. Now, in the next lecture, we're going to print out our output prediction, and we're going to implement the 2 buttons that will give the user the ability to pass in an image from gallery to the neural network or pass in a camera image to the neural network. So if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please let me know in the comments, and I'd be more than happy to help. And I'll see you guys in the next lecture.